Seniors, beware. 9 popular medications that trigger rapid dementia. Most Americans over 60 trust their medications without question. But what if some of those pills, prescribed by well-meaning doctors, were quietly speeding up memory loss, confusion, and even early dementia? Studies now confirm that certain drugs, especially when taken long-term, can shrink the brain, dull your thinking, and even mimic Alzheimer's symptoms. In this video, we reveal the 9 common medications every senior should know about, and what to do if you're already taking one. Stick around till the end, because the last one is hiding in millions of medicine cabinets. Anticholinergics, the silent brain blockers. You might think your daily allergy pill or sleep aid is harmless. It's just over the counter, right? But what if that simple pill is quietly blocking your brain from working the way it should, and raising your risk of dementia every time you take it? That's the danger behind anticholinergic drugs, a class of medications that many seniors take every single day without even knowing the risk. You'll find them in common products like Benadryl, Dramamine, Tylenol PM, and even in prescription medications like Paxil or Elavil. They're used for everything from allergies and colds to stomach cramps, anxiety, depression, and insomnia. So what do these drugs do? They block a brain chemical called acetylcholine. That's a chemical your brain needs for memory, attention, learning, and muscle control. When you're young, your brain produces plenty of it. But as you age, those levels naturally start to decline. And when you take a drug that blocks acetylcholine on top of that, you speed up the decline, and you may not even realize it until the damage is done. In fact, studies from leading universities have shown that long-term use of anticholinergics increases the risk of dementia by as much as 54%. That's not a small number. That's life-changing. And what's scary is how many seniors take these meds for years, without any warning. The symptoms start small. Maybe you're forgetting names more often. Maybe you lose focus during a conversation. Maybe your sleep gets worse even though you're taking a sleep aid. These are not just signs of getting older. They could be the early warning signs that your brain is struggling because it's not getting the chemicals it needs to function. And here's the hidden trap. Many anticholinergic drugs are sold under brand names ending in PM or labeled as nighttime, allergy relief, or multi-symptom cold relief. You might be taking one just to help you sleep or manage seasonal allergies, and unknowingly blocking your brain's communication system in the process. Even worse, seniors are often on multiple medications, and the anticholinergic effects add up. This cumulative effect is called the anticholinergic burden, and it's one of the most under-discussed dangers in senior health. The higher the burden, the higher the risk, not just for dementia, but also for confusion, dizziness, falls, and urinary retention. So what can you do? Start by reading your labels. Look for diphenhydramine, doxylamine, or chlorpheniramine. These are all anticholinergic ingredients. If you see them on anything you take regularly, especially at night, it's time to talk to your doctor. There are safer alternatives for sleep, allergies, and anxiety that don't block acetylcholine. For example, non-drowsy antihistamines like loratadine Claritin or melatonin-based sleep aids may offer relief without the brain fog. Your doctor or pharmacist can help you find a substitute that supports your health without hurting your memory. At this stage of life, your brain deserves protection, not confusion. If you've been feeling mentally slower, foggier, or less sharp, don't write it off. The fix could be as simple as switching one pill. Sleeping pills stealing rest and memory. Sleep is supposed to heal your body and reset your brain. But what if the pills you're taking to help you sleep are quietly doing the opposite? For millions of seniors, that's exactly what's happening every night. And the consequences are serious. Medications like Ambien, Zolpidem, Lunesta, Asopiclone, and even popular over-the-counter sleeping pills can seem like quick fixes. You fall asleep faster, stay down longer, and maybe feel like you're getting the rest you need. But the truth is, these pills don't deliver real sleep, and they can actually interfere with the brain's most critical nighttime functions. These drugs work by sedating your nervous system. That means your body gets drowsy, but your brain never reaches the deep restorative sleep it needs. Deep sleep is when your brain clears out waste, repairs cells, and resets memory pathways. Without it, your brain fog worsens, memory weakens, and emotional stability declines over time. Studies have found that seniors who regularly take sleep medications are more likely to develop memory problems, confusion, and even early cognitive decline within just a few years. And the risk doesn't stop at the brain. These drugs can cause daytime drowsiness, which dramatically increases the risk of falls, fractures, and accidents around the house, a leading cause of injury and hospitalization in older adults. What's even more dangerous is how subtle the damage can be. You may think the pills are working because you're sleeping longer, but you wake up feeling groggy, foggy, or drained. That's a red flag. Real sleep restores you. Drugged sleep simply sedates you, and it leaves your brain running on empty. And let's not forget tolerance. Over time, many seniors find they need higher doses to get the same effect. That creates dependency, and if you miss a dose or try to quit cold turkey, you may face rebound insomnia, anxiety, and even withdrawal symptoms. What started as a small sleep problem becomes a major brain health crisis. The worst part? These medications are often handed out easily, especially after a stressful life event or hospital visit. But once you're on them, it becomes harder to stop because your natural sleep cycles are no longer functioning the way they should. So what can you do if you struggle with sleep? Start small. Melatonin can be a helpful option for resetting your sleep rhythm, especially if you take it 30 to 60 minutes before bed in low doses. Another proven helper? Magnesium glycinate. It calms the nervous system without sedating your brain and helps relax tight muscles that can keep you awake. Also, consider simple but powerful lifestyle changes. Reduce screen time at least 1 hour before bed. Use dim lighting in the evening. Keep your room cool, dark, and quiet. Stick to a bedtime routine that tells your brain it's time to wind down. Even adding soft music or light stretching before bed can have a dramatic effect. Bottom line, if you're taking sleep aids every night and still waking up tired, groggy, or mentally off, you're not resting, you're drugging your system. Your brain deserves better. Rest should renew you, not rob you. Benzodiazepines, anxiety's dangerous fix. If you've ever dealt with anxiety, panic attacks, or insomnia, chances are a doctor has offered you a prescription, something to calm your nerves, help you sleep, and slow your racing thoughts. And for many seniors, that prescription came in the form of a benzodiazepine. Drugs like Xanax, Valium, Ativan, or Klonopin might have felt like a relief at first, but for aging brains, they come with a dark side. Benzodiazepines work by slowing down activity in the central nervous system. They create calm, reduce anxiety, and help you fall asleep. But they also interfere with how your brain processes information. They suppress short-term memory, slow reflexes, dull emotions, and impair decision-making. Over time, this doesn't just make you feel mentally slower, it actually raises your risk of dementia. Multiple studies have shown that seniors who use benzodiazepines regularly have a 30 to 50% higher chance of developing Alzheimer's or other forms of cognitive decline. That risk increases the longer the medication is used, especially at higher doses or with multiple prescriptions. And the symptoms can be subtle at first, forgetting conversations, missing appointments, or getting lost in familiar places, but they can escalate quickly. And it doesn't stop with memory. These drugs also affect balance and coordination. Seniors who take benzodiazepines are at much greater risk for falls, fractures, and hospitalization, not because they're weak, but because the drug is slowing their ability to react. What feels like calm is actually your brain operating in a fog. Even more troubling? Benzodiazepines are highly addictive. Your brain builds tolerance fast, meaning you may need more over time to get the same effect. And when you try to stop, withdrawal can be brutal. Rebound anxiety, insomnia, tremors, and even seizures if you quit too fast. That's why doctors warn, never stop benzodiazepines cold turkey. It can be dangerous. And yet, many seniors stay on these meds for years even though they were only meant for short-term use, weeks, not months or years. Often, the original problem, stress, grief, poor sleep, resolves, but the pill habit continues. And every day the brain stays on these medications, the risk grows. So what's the safer path? If you're currently taking a benzo, talk to your doctor about tapering off slowly. It may take weeks or months, but it's worth it. Your brain function, memory, and safety depend on it. Ask about non-drug options for anxiety, such as CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, guided breathing, or even low-dose natural supplements like L-theanine or magnesium, all of which can calm the nervous system without hijacking your memory or motor skills. And remember, feeling anxious is a real challenge, but blunting your brain to escape it isn't the answer, especially not long-term. There are safer, smarter ways to cope, and at this stage in life, protecting your mind is everything. If you or someone you love is on a drug like Xanax, Ativan, or Valium, don't wait. Ask questions, get a second opinion, and start planning a better way forward, one that keeps you sharp, stable, and strong. Antidepressants, tricyclics, outdated and overlooked. There's a category of medications still hiding in medicine cabinets across America, used quietly by millions of seniors who may not even know what they're risking. They're called tricyclic antidepressants, and names like Elavil, amitriptyline, and tofranil, imipramine, might sound familiar. These drugs were once considered groundbreaking. Today, they're considered outdated and potentially dangerous for aging brains. Originally developed to treat depression, tricyclics are now often prescribed for nerve pain, migraines, insomnia, or bladder issues in older adults. They're cheap, familiar, and many doctors have prescribed them for decades. But here's the problem. These drugs come with strong anticholinergic effects, which means they block acetylcholine, the brain chemical responsible for memory, learning, attention, and focus. And in seniors who already experience a natural decline in acetylcholine, this block can be devastating. Studies show that people taking tricyclic antidepressants over time are at significantly higher risk for cognitive decline, confusion, and dementia. The symptoms can build slowly, forgetting details, struggling to follow conversations, losing track of time. But they often get misattributed to normal aging instead of recognizing the real cause, the medication itself. Even worse, these drugs can cause drowsiness, dry mouth, blurred vision, constipation, and low blood pressure, all of which increase the risk of falls, dehydration, and hospitalization in older adults. In fact, tricyclics are on the Beers criteria list, a list of medications the American Geriatric Society considers potentially inappropriate for older adults. So why are so many seniors still on them? In many cases, it's habit. A prescription from years ago was never changed, or maybe a doctor used it off-label to help with nerve pain or sleep, and no one reviewed the long-term risks. And because these medications don't always cause immediate side effects, the danger creeps in quietly. But today, safer and more targeted options exist. For depression, SSRIs like sertraline, Zoloft, or escitalopram, Lexapro, are generally better tolerated and have fewer cognitive side effects. For nerve pain, gabapentin or duloxetine, Cymbalta, may offer relief without the same memory risks. Even for sleep or bladder issues, there are newer, less intrusive alternatives that don't block essential brain chemicals. If you or someone you love is still taking Elavil, tofranil, or another tricyclic, don't stop suddenly, but do start a conversation. Bring it up with your doctor. Ask, is this still the safest choice for my age? You might be surprised how often the answer is no. Your brain health is too important to leave in the hands of an outdated drug. One small medication review could make the difference between feeling foggy and feeling fully present. Antipsychotics, dangerous for the brain and heart. Most seniors and even their families have no idea that the pills prescribed to calm them down may be quietly doing the exact opposite. Drugs like Risperdal, Risperidone, Seroquel, Quetiapine, and Zyprexa, olanzapine, are commonly used in nursing homes and hospitals to manage agitation, sleep issues, or behavioral changes in dementia. But what if the very thing meant to protect your mind is actually making it worse? These are antipsychotic medications, and while they were designed to treat severe mental illnesses like schizophrenia, they've been increasingly used in older adults for off-label reasons: irritability, confusion, restlessness, or trouble sleeping. On the surface, they seem to help. Seniors appear calmer, sleep longer, and act more manageable. but underneath that calm is a very real risk. The FDA has issued strong warnings that these medications can double the risk of death in seniors with dementia. Double. That's not a side effect, that's a crisis. These deaths often happen quietly, through heart failure, sudden cardiac events, or strokes, which are far more likely when the brain is already under pressure from cognitive decline. But it doesn't stop there. Antipsychotics increase confusion, impair memory, and create a drugged, foggy state that can speed up dementia symptoms. Many families notice that their loved one just isn't themselves after starting these meds. They may sleep all day, speak less, or lose interest in everything. This isn't aging. This is medication-induced decline. Worse yet, many seniors are placed on these drugs without fully understanding the risks, or stay on them far longer than intended. What should be a short-term solution becomes a long-term trap, and one that's extremely difficult to reverse. The longer someone stays on antipsychotics, the harder it is to regain alertness, memory, and independence. And it's not just about the brain. These medications slow heart rate, alter blood pressure, and increase stroke risk, especially in seniors already dealing with heart conditions. That means a single pill, given to help settle down before bed, could increase the odds of a life-threatening event overnight. So what's the alternative? In most cases, non-drug strategies work better and safer, especially over time. Things like daily structure, consistent lighting, music therapy, and simple human connection have all been proven to reduce agitation in dementia without destroying alertness. Even light physical activity or sensory tools like weighted blankets can calm the nervous system naturally, without shutting down brain function. If a senior must take an antipsychotic, it should only be under strict medical supervision for short periods and with a clear plan for stopping it. No senior should stay on these drugs indefinitely, especially not to make them easier to manage. If you're caring for someone with memory issues, or taking one of these meds yourself, ask questions now. Don't wait for the side effects to show up. Your mind, your heart, and your future are too important to be managed by a pill that was never meant for long-term use in aging adults. Bladder medications, trouble below, damage above. If you've ever had to rush to the bathroom or felt anxious about leaking during the day, your doctor may have offered you a simple fix, a pill to calm your bladder. Drugs like ditropan, oxybutynin, Detrol, tolterodine, or Vesicare sulfenacin are some of the most common prescriptions for overactive bladder. But what many seniors don't know is that these drugs come with a hidden cost to your brain. These bladder medications work by blocking a brain chemical called acetylcholine. That chemical is essential for memory, focus, learning, and clear thinking. As we age, our natural acetylcholine levels drop, but when you take a medication that blocks even more of it, your brain begins to slow down in ways that feel like dementia, even when it's not. In fact, a long-term study published in JAMA Neurology found that seniors who used anticholinergic bladder drugs had smaller brain volume and lower cognitive performance than those who didn't. That means the pill you're taking to protect your dignity may quietly be stealing your memory. And the symptoms aren't always dramatic at first. You might start losing words, forgetting appointments, or getting distracted more easily. Some seniors feel foggy or emotionally flat. Others report trouble concentrating, following conversations, or remembering simple things, like where they left their phone or what they were just about to say. Sadly, most of these side effects are brushed off as normal aging. But in reality, your brain may be reacting to a drug that's interfering with its most basic functions, just to keep your bladder quiet. And it's not just memory. These meds can also cause dry mouth, constipation, blurred vision, and dizziness, increasing the risk of falls, dehydration, and hospitalization, especially when taken long-term. So what's the alternative? First, if you're on one of these medications, don't stop it suddenly, but talk to your doctor about safer options. There are newer bladder medications, like mirabegron, Myrbetriq, that don't block acetylcholine and have a much lower risk of cognitive decline. Also, consider non-drug solutions, which are safer and often more effective over time. Pelvic floor therapy, Kegel exercises, and bladder training have been shown to improve bladder control without risking your brain. Some seniors also find relief by cutting back on caffeine, drinking earlier in the day, and keeping a bathroom schedule that supports their natural rhythm. If you're dealing with urgency or incontinence, it's tempting to grab the quickest fix. But if the fix is slowly erasing your mental sharpness, is it really worth it? At this stage in life, you need your body and your brain to work together. Don't trade one for the other. Ask questions, get a second opinion, and don't let a bladder issue steal your clarity, your conversations, or your connection to the world. Antihistamines, hidden in cold and allergy meds. It starts with a sneeze or a runny nose. Maybe you're just trying to get some sleep during allergy season. So you reach for a familiar name, Benadryl, chlortrimeton, or that PM cold and flu combo you've used for years. No big deal, right? But here's the hidden danger. Those everyday medications contain antihistamines that also act as anticholinergics, the same type of drugs linked to memory loss, confusion, and dementia in seniors. And the worst part? They're sold over the counter, so most people assume they're safe. One of the most common culprits is diphenhydramine, the active ingredient in Benadryl, Tylenol PM, and many nighttime cold or sleep aids. Another is chlorpheniramine, found in older allergy pills and cold combos. These drugs work by blocking acetylcholine, the brain chemical that helps with thinking, memory, and attention. For younger adults, this might not matter much, but for seniors who already have lower acetylcholine levels due to aging, blocking more of it can be devastating. The results? Brain fog, slower thinking, short-term memory loss, confusion. Some seniors describe it as feeling disconnected or not quite present. Others feel groggy, unsteady, or emotionally flat. And here's the real risk. Even occasional use can have an impact. If you take Benadryl just a few nights a week to sleep or pop a cold tablet during allergy season, those anticholinergic effects can build up quietly over time. Before you know it, what felt like a temporary fix becomes a long-term brain fog. Worse, because these meds don't require a prescription, most people don't even think to tell their doctor they're taking them. That means you could be stacking multiple anticholinergic drugs, like a bladder med, a sleep aid, and an allergy pill, without knowing the cumulative risk. It's called anticholinergic burden, and studies show that the higher it is, the greater your risk of cognitive decline and even dementia. So what should you do? Always check your labels. If the packaging says may cause drowsiness or contains ingredients like diphenhydramine or chlorpheniramine, think twice, especially if you're using it more than once a week. And never assume that because it's just a cold pill or just an allergy med, it's harmless. There are safer options. For allergies, non-drowsy antihistamines like loratadine, Claritin, or fexofenadine, Allegra, work well without affecting brain chemicals. For sleep, consider melatonin, magnesium, or a natural bedtime routine instead of sedating yourself into brain fog. If you've been feeling off mentally, or know a loved one who has, check the medicine cabinet. The culprit could be sitting right there, hiding in plain sight under a friendly label. Your brain is too important to trade for a little symptom relief. Choose smarter, choose clearer, and never forget, even the small pills can have big consequences. Statins, the cholesterol controversy. Statins like Lipitor and Crestor are prescribed to lower cholesterol, but in some older adults, they may cause memory loss, confusion, or even reversible dementia-like symptoms. While not all seniors experience these effects, those who do often report feeling foggy, losing words, or forgetting recent events. The good news? These side effects usually reverse once the statin is stopped. If you're on a statin and noticing changes in your memory, don't ignore it. Bring it up at your next checkup. Acid reflux drugs silently blocking nutrients. Proton pump inhibitors, PPIs, like Nexium, Prilosec, and Prevacid are widely used for heartburn and reflux, but long-term use can reduce vitamin B12 absorption, which is crucial for brain health. Low B12 levels have been directly linked to memory loss, nerve damage, and early dementia symptoms. And since many seniors already struggle to absorb B12 efficiently, these meds make it worse. If you've been on a PPI for more than a few months, Ask your doctor about alternatives and consider getting your B12 levels checked. What you can do right now. Medications can save lives, but for seniors, they can also steal clarity, strength, and independence if not carefully managed. Here's what you can do today. Make a list of every medication and supplement you take. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist and ask, does anything on this list affect memory? Explore alternatives, whether that's safer drugs, lifestyle changes, or natural therapies. Small changes today can protect your brain for years to come. If you found this helpful, share it with someone you love. One conversation could save a memory, a moment, or even a life. Hit like, subscribe, and help more seniors stay informed, sharp, and independent, starting with what's inside their medicine cabinet.